Welcome to Team Building Cultures, the podcast designed to deliver tools and tips for improving team communication, collaboration, and fostering a culture where teams thrive. Now, here's your host, Beverly Hathorn, owner of Strategic HR Consultants.
Hello, listeners, and thank you so much for joining me again for another episode of Team Building Cultures. I am Beverly Hathorn, your host, and I am the owner of Strategic HR Consultants. Today, I have with me Mr. Tom Dorney. Tom is Director of Partnerships and Resources for Vet Unite. He's a veteran and first responder advocate and connector of people and organizations for the greater good. He's also a community leader of Convene Cares community for nonprofit collaboration of platform with a purpose. And he's also better known as Convene Communities. So Tom, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm sure our listeners are going to be impacted and enlightened by our chat today. I've learned so much about you and you have so much going on. And I just want our listeners to just get a brief of what you do. So just tell us about your team experience.
Okay. My team experience first started, I'm one of 8 kids. So learned how, you got to work as a team together. But through my work experience and mostly in the military, that's how the military functions. It's drilled into us. You have to have a good functional team to fulfill the mission. So that's where I learned most of my experience from. So
that's a great place to get a start. I never went into the military, but I have lots of people in my family who did. And I always say that I'm thankful for the people that did go into the military because I myself, I'm just not cut of that cloth. And, I really appreciate and am very thankful for the people who are and who did step up. So, I just want to say thank you for your service and, we appreciate you.
My honor and privilege.
Thank you. So tell me, how did you become such a good team player and communicator?
My father was a restaurant manager and he was an expert networker. So watching my father early on and being a father and mentoring you and teaching you different things in life, a lot of life is who you know. And a lot of his experience and his job doing what he did so effectively is instilling teamwork. So I had that both at home and I also worked for him at an early age. So I had an opportunity to learn from the master, so to speak. Meeting new people is a passion for me. I love meeting people. I'm a people person. And I like, you're doing good for the community. So I've learned mostly through watching. I'm a watcher. I'm one of those. I was very quiet when I was younger and everything else like that, which people don't believe. But I sit back. I sat back and watched everything and took it in, and it just instilled in me from an early age. And what Convene Communities is built on is experience. Life is experience, and learning from each other's experience to me is key. So that's it. The crux of the matter. I could really, really deep dive into all of it, but people's experiences and making those mistakes, and not afraid to make those mistakes. Make them small and get them out of the way,
and try not to repeat the same ones if you can.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Convene Communities and, what it is you do there.
Okay. Convene Communities just started. The founder, Matt Curran, is also a veteran, master planner and instructor in aviation. He flew the first missions into Afghanistan, planning meetings with General Mattis himself and in the beginning of Afghanistan itself. So, but he basically built a platform to honor his crew chief that died in a mishap in a training accident that shouldn't have happened. That's crux of the matter. That's the experience part. Is people have a story and experience, but it's been built out to something much greater. it has communities, say, for instance, coaching communities, health and fitness communities, the military community, Christian community, parenting community, where like-minded individuals, through a platform that is set up and built around collaboration, about teamwork, that we're in this together and we're out to make a major impact in the community and beyond. That's Convene in a nutshell. Convene Cares is a community set up for nonprofits. Convene Communities is a public benefit company. So to give back to the community, and what I'm passionate in and what everybody on the platform is passionate about is the nonprofit communities, how to best help them, provide them with the resources to do and fulfill their missions. I call it passing on the love and hope and joy. It's just everybody has their expert at something. We have a video out there too. I can also share with you is, what is your superhero strength? Type of thing. So it's very inspirational being with like-minded people fulfilling this mission, hence the name Convene Communities. So we're doing some great stuff. We just launched the full platform for nonprofits, but we have a lot of great communities out there, health and fitness, a children's and young adult community, and a parenting community. And there are mental health organizations out there. There's spiritual organizations out there. There's the Christian community, things of that nature. So there's something for everyone. And if we don't have a community that you're interested in when you come into our mall per se, we can build it. We're looking for people to lead communities and grow.
That sounds wonderful. I think when we all get together and we all bring what we have, it's just such a wonderful thing, because we each have individual talents and skills. And it reminds me of this story I heard once, and it's called Rock Soup. It starts out a little sad, but there was this little boy and, he was trying to cook something to eat, and so he thought, well, I don't really have anything to cook, but I'm going to start a pot of water, and he started a pot of water and he just, dropped a rock in there. And someone came by. He was outside. It was one of those countries or lifestyles, I guess, where he was outside. He built a little fire and he put the pot on, and somebody came by and said, "Hey, what's that you're making?" And he said, "Rock soup," and so that person said, "Hey, I've got some celery. I'm going to go and add to your rock soup." And they brought the rock soup. Another person came by, asked the same question. He said, "I got some onions," and he brought the onions and put it in the rock soup. And then people kept coming by and dropping things in the rock soup. And before you know it, they had a big pot of soup that was enough to fill everybody, and everybody could partake in it, but everybody had participated, and then everybody could partake. So, it was just a really nice concept. And it kind of, when you were talking about Convene Communities, it just kind of brought that to mind, because if we all put in what we have, we'll all have what we need. That's just my thoughts on that. So I think that's a wonderful.
That's a wonderful story and a Convene story. We try and keep it simple. You know what I mean? They overthink this. Just bring what you have to the table.
Just bring what you have
organically. So
right, exactly. So that's wonderful that you're doing that, and thank you for sharing that resource. I'm sure some of our listeners can definitely benefit from that. So tell me a little bit about Vet Unite. What do you do there? And
Vet Unite, I'm partnered with a gentleman named Mike Damon, who, like a lot of us, didn't transition out of the military, shall we say, the way we need to come back into civilian world. As we say, the government and everyone trains us to be soldiers and military people, but we're not trained how to undo all of that and come back into society. So Mike Damon basically documented his trials and tribulations, his obstacles, and then his resources and how he came to where he is today, and formed Vet Unite, which basically is a mentorship peer-to-peer program that we feel the only thing that's really going to help veterans to the point they need is like we said, teamwork is one another.
Mhm.
We identify with the issues that these individuals are going through. We've learned through experience. We know what we're talking about. And one of the most important missions that Vet Unite has is that I'm really into, and where I come in is we're one of those nonprofits, believe it or not. We do things a little backwards. We extend ourselves and help those other nonprofits to succeed. So I meet these resources and form these partnerships with these organizations. Back to the main point of what we're talking about. We don't have all the answers, but we're going to find the resources and things that these individuals need to transition properly and deal with any obstacles they have. May it be addiction, family issues, minor criminal behavior, things of that nature that fall in the way. Keep them, they're basically, there's 40,000 homeless veterans on the street at any given day.
Oh, that's a sad statistic.
In the United States, yes. And to the statistic of that everyone knows, the suicide issue, both through military and first responders. It's way too high to even talk about, but our mission is individual by individual to eradicate veteran homelessness, suicide, and other hardships. So that's the mission of Vet Unite in a nutshell.
An extremely worthy cause and organization. Once again, that's very impressive. And it's clear that you give, and the others that work with you, you give of yourselves. And that is such a wonderful, and being so selfless is an awesome act, and one that I think most people attempt at, but we probably get so caught up in so many other things. I think most people would like to give more of themselves. There's just only so much of you to go around. So really appreciate everything that you do there. And, listening to you talk about all the different people you work with and encounter, and from all these different perspectives, I would think that you are definitely a great communicator. So what can you tell us about, so what can you tell us about being an effective communicator, and how do you collaborate to get effective results?
To start is in, your daily life, may it be on Facebook or anything else like that. Again, I'm an observer and I listen, and you get to have that knack of when I call it a pure mission when I'm on. But when you get to meet people, you pick up on things, and you should learn about people is first and foremost. But listen to those people that, wow, what they're saying. But most importantly, I watch what people do. So a lot of people can talk the talk, but a lot don't walk the walk. But that's where my research and what I do is I come across an organization, I see what they do. Then I actually go out, and Mike and I both do. We travel the country. I don't do that as much as I used to. I like to stay married, like to stay secure in where I'm at. But Mike is out and about all over the country, meeting different nonprofits, meeting different people, and finding those opportunities that come about. Going those people or that organization stands out, and we watch what they do and how they do it, and that's where it begins. Is doing your research. Learn to speak someone's language. I've learned it from dog trainers. Very simple. People go and train a dog or think they own a dog. Is get on their level. My sister taught that. She's got a doctorate in speech pathology with autistic children. Is learn them, learn how they communicate, learn how they think, and take it all in, and then take the action that you wish to take to have the appropriate outcome you're looking for.
Wow, that all sounds very interesting, Tom. So I'm thinking, with all that you do and all the people that you engage on a regular basis, that you must be an effective collaborator. So tell us a little bit about effective communication and collaborating to get results.
basically start with the basics. I do my research. If say I'm going to an event like I am after this, I'm going to a brand new networking group that's opening up in our region here in Connecticut. See what they're about, what that person's about, some of the organizations or people who may be attending. Do your homework, check to see what they're about, and go up and, you do most networking groups and things of that nature. You ask a lot about them, focus on them, and then answer appropriate questions when they come back to you. Like everybody likes, they want to tell their story. I let them do that. But if it's a collaboration type of thing, which most of them I will go to, looking for organizations to help, who can help veterans or help a cause, that's a whole nother story, because 90% of networking groups are all about business, meeting people, driving business, things of that nature. Collaborators, on the other hand, on most part, if there's a particular topic or a particular area of interest that you're collaborating about, people are a little bit more giving and helping one another, and are in that mindset to collaborate, to find out about other organizations. How can I help? Things of that nature. They're more team-minded people. Nonprofits are a business, but it's finding those people, they're passionate in what they're doing, and find out what their story is, and how can you help us, because I'd love to help you type of attitude. I've also I've mastered that concept in the military. I can help you, but how are you going to help us type of thing. I've become very effective at it because, again, back to the point of how I grew up in a large family in a very community-minded area of Queens, watching my father conduct effective business in a restaurant. He had no business education or anything. It's all on people skills, knowing finding what people like, and presenting it to them in a way. That's how he became a very successful restaurant manager. He's one of the best in all of Queens and Long Island. So I watch and observe, and be willing to learn.
Be willing to learn and caring about people. It sounds like your father cared about people. He cared enough to find out what people like, what makes them happy, and how he can go about presenting that. Much like yourself, you seem to care enough about people to find out what they need and where you can jump in to help. And that really is that's a beautiful trait. That's an awesome accomplishment, and something that you should be very proud of. It sounds like since you were a very young kid, you were giving of yourself and helping people. And
can't leave my mom out either, because my mom worked in a special children's hospital and gave all 8 kids a tour of this place. And the heart of a lot of what I do too is my mother drilled gratitude into us.
Mm-hmm.
I've had and I haven't had. I've been on both sides of the tracks, and through life experience, unfortunately, I had to experience a lot of the down part and a lot of the tough times to help me do what I do today. It's learning about people and finding gratitude. A big life lesson my mother taught me. I was about 12 years old.
Without gratitude, it's hard to be happy. That might sound like a very simplistic statement that I just made, but if you're never grateful, then you're always wanting something else. You're always needing something else. And when you get that something else, then you need something else. So, that is great when it comes to goal setting. Once you set a goal, and you achieve that goal, then set another goal. But it's different with gratitude. If you're never happy with what you have in life, and you're never grateful for it, you'll always see it as not enough. So, or you feel like you're missing out on something. So it seems like that's a wonderful lesson that your mother taught her children at a young age so that they could grow up to be grateful and giving individuals, as you clearly have become. So when we talk about stories, as you had mentioned earlier, do you consider yourself a storyteller or more of an influencer?
I influence through storytelling.
Very good. Good catch. Good save.
It's completely honest. That's how I am. Don't answer, to people out there, they've learned, don't ask me a question unless you want to know the answer. I don't play games. I tell the truth. I can go in and talk to a general in the Army, the governor of my state, business owners, and everything else like that. It's learning and building the confidence. It's life experience. I don't think I own or are better than anybody, but you have to have confidence in what you're doing. And I have all the confidence in the world of it's a passion for mine to help others. I want to honor some of my brothers and sisters who I made promises to that, you watch some of the movies and military movies. I want to do the honorable thing. I want to give back. I've made mistakes, yes, but I want to make up for them. So
yes, totally. I totally get you. That is again very commendable of you. And we've all made mistakes, and you have to move past them so that you can continue to grow and develop and contribute. So with that, I just want to say, thank you for all that you do, particularly being a veteran. We appreciate you, fighting for our country and what you do with Vet Unite. Our veterans do need some sort of support once they come home. And the things that you do in your organization to help them, and particularly your community convene, the way you get with these different communities of people and join them all together to be a resource for those that need that help, and working with the nonprofits. You do a lot. You give of yourself a lot, and that's very commendable.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Team Building Cultures. We hope we have delivered helpful and enlightening information to help you create your dream team. Join us next time